All right. Um, we've had some very strong bullish Bitcoin movement in the last 2 days, and we're going to start this overview kind of like where are we now? What's most likely going forward on the monthly chart? Now, the monthly is about three-quarters of the way through. We've got another 7.5 days. Um, but nevertheless, we can still see that the monthly, we opened over here, we wicked down, and then we've moved up. Um, Ever since we made all-time highs and then consolidated for a couple of weeks, I think it was, and then made all-time highs again. We'll see on the weekly and daily in a moment. I've been saying that it's very likely that we're going to come back down into this monthly BISI. What was unclear was whether we're going to go even lower, and we'll see the weekly where that becomes a little more clear. Um, this is the dealing range that I marked out. A dealing range, according to ICT, you mark it out when price has swept a swing low and a swing high. So while on the monthly, there may not be that many swing highs, but it's again clear on the lower time frames. So on the weekly, as we'll see. And a very common retracement is certainly into discount from here till halfway is discount, and from above halfway is premium. So premium and discount. You generally want to go long in discount and short in premium if you're bearish. So we didn't come all the way down to the OTE levels of between 62 and 79%, if this is our final retracement. But we did come down into discount, and that could be a sign that we are done with this retracement. It's not a significant reversal beyond what we've seen, and possible evidence of that is we see how in February we came down, in March we came down lower, sweeping liquidity below there, and in April we came even lower, taking out any remaining liquidity below here, as well as just about fully rebalancing whatever imbalance had been remaining before moving back up. So those are signs of that to go lower would be high resistance liquidity. Meaning a higher resistance liquidity run. It's a high resistance because we have taken out liquidity already. So the only remaining liquidity is below one candle as opposed to multiples. In contrast, over here, we have liquidity above here, here, and here. Whenever we have a candle that moves up or down and falls just short of the previous distance, either height or, low, the high or low that was made, we're building up more liquidity, and that becomes a low resistance liquidity opportunity, and we're more likely to see price run in that direction. Okay, weekly candles now. So again, we'd taken out the high. We went sideways for, I guess, a month or so, took out a new all-time high up there. And then the question was, this was a BISI here. Are we going to come back down and rebalance the BISI as well as this one over here? And then if we do close below this one, are we going to go lower, looking to get below this consolidation, which would put us really low, down in the 50s or even below? Well, it looks like there's a decent possibility that we have completed our retracement, and now we're going higher. There's a lot of mess here. I'm going to clean this up, but let's look at this. So again, we have the dealing range from the high, that low. Over here, you can see this low came out and swept the swing low. A swing low is where a low with a higher low and a higher low on each side, higher low on the left and higher low on the right. That makes this a swing low. Over here, we came down and took that, and that makes this an even lower low, an intermediate term low, and that's the beginning of this dealing range because we took out the lows over here, and then over here, the high of the dealing range, we took out a high over here, a swing high, because there's a high with a lower high on each side. And as you saw in the monthly, we came back down to below 50%. This is the same settings as you see on the monthly. I've also marked out this. It was a BISI, but we closed below it, and I marked out the percentages there as well. I'm gonna take this. Well, I'll leave it there for a moment. And because we closed below, I marked this instead as an inversion fair value gap, a bearish inversion fair value gap. And what we wanted to see is, are we going to continue lower? And I had the 25, 50, 75% marked off to give us a sense as to how we're doing over there. We closed below. We wicked down quite low into this BISI, but we didn't have any candle body in there. And we moved back up. We got these two weekly candles of moving up, and then another two weekly candles are coming back down, closing below it, seeming to affirm or confirm that this is to be respected as a bearish inversion. Um, However, we never closed below 50% of this BISI. We did the next week. We wicked down below it, and then moved higher, closing above the open of this week. And then the next week we consolidated a bit, but opened higher and closed higher. And then this week, the last few days, we've just exploded upwards. So far this week, as of right now, we're up $8,500. Um, this is marking off the the open of this leg down to the low here, just the candle bodies and not the wicks. I was just looking at something and I wanted to see our retracement level, like how far up are we retracing? I've done it now with with the wicks, and I don't fully understand when to use the wicks and when not to use the wicks. I've seen ICT say that that when he's looking for consequent encroachment, that's the 50% mark, he'll use the wicks. When he's looking for OTE settings, that is these percentages, he'll do it without the wicks. I don't know why. I don't fully understand what I'm doing, but I'm just trying to learn by doing and perhaps deepen my understanding. But if we include the wicks, then this price has come back within the OTE range, which again, it could often go higher and still retrace. But if we exclude the wicks, then we're above the OTE range, and we want to see what's going on the lower time frame. Okay, let's go down to daily. And all right, so on the daily time frame, and this is where I primarily focus day to day, but I want to zoom out because we've just experienced this big move. So I want to get a fresh look at it. Um, so we've seen some strong bullish action. We've had price come down, make a low, go higher, right? Make a lower high, lower than that high, swing high here, and then come back down, make a lower high again, right? That's a swing high with highs on each side. Make a lower low. So we're making lower lows, lower highs, lower lows. Okay. Um, and came back up, made another lower high, put in like relatively equal highs over here, which is engineering liquidity to come back later and take it, and then make a lower low. And as you may recall, I had a buy order literally, literally just above the green line here, above this daily BISI. And the reason I put my buy order there was because I know that sometimes price comes down just to a BISI and then runs away from it. Um, and it literally was maybe 50 or so dollars, which is like, so small over here, lower than my buy order, which was hit. And that's very satisfying. But it's not because I'm a genius. It's just because I'm using these PD arrays to guide me. And, sometimes it looks magical as a result. Because if price did come down to just really slightly tap into a fair value gap, um, whether BISI or SIBI, ICT calls that an institutional order flow entry drill. I don't know why, but IOFED, institutional order flow entry, that's like a wick into a fair value gap before running the other way. And he knows how to anticipate those. And I don't. And when he anticipates them, then, he can get a really good entry. Um, Again, I put it there. It was a small amount, um, but it sure looks genius out of context. If I just show that, hey, I got in, I bought at the very bottom, and now we are oh, almost $20,000 higher. It just really looks good. But I want you to understand that I'm just, where I got that from. I didn't know that was going to be the bottom. I just knew that price will sometimes come there, and instead of going lower, it will turn around and go higher. And I just figured I'll put a buy order at that point. Okay, then we moved up, kind of chopping sideways a little bit, but we closed above this BISI, right? So it's called a reclaimed BISI, right? It's a real reclaimed bullish for value gap because it had become a bearish inversion when we closed below it, but then we didn't reinforce that. We came back up, closing above it. So and then respecting it. This price came down, respected it as a BISI. Price again came down, respected as a BISI for closing even higher. We were looking for a close above this leg down, and we got that about a week ago. And then the question we're looking for, not I can't what's the word, not reinforcement, but basically to see something like reinforcement, to see that that our concept is being reinforced, but I can't think of the right word. So we chopped around sideways, and then yesterday well, 2 days ago we wicked below here. This is actually a what was called manipulation. And the three phases of price movement are accumulation, manipulation, and distribution. That's one of the two ways of looking at price delivery, right? So we have sell side liquidity building up below these two daily candles. On this day, we manipulate it below. Why is it called manipulation? Because we make it look like we're going lower and we get people to sell as a consequence. So the people who had stop sell orders here to protect their longs are going to sell when price comes down, thinking that, oh no, we're going lower. And people who are waiting for price to go lower are also going to sell short here, thinking that price is breaking down lower and is going to go down and get the liquidity below these two relatively equal lows, or whatever they're thinking. However, we had a manipulation here, and we came down, grabbed all that sell side, meaning that everybody who was willing to sell sold, and then the market makers took the market back up, right, where so they bought from these people, and now they could sell it at a higher price, whether they sell it here or wherever. So it's important skill to learn to spot manipulation. This daily candle is just one day. It's just a manipulation. Like there's nothing else over there. And yesterday, after we manipulated, grabbing that sell side, we moved up with what's called displacement. We closed above all this. All the people here looking to buy were able to buy some of what the market makers had bought down here, if it was for sale. And then we moved above this over here. Sorry, over here. So this, if we look at these highs, right? And then this high, right above this high and that high, this would be low resistance liquidity because above each one, there's liquidity. So there's buy side liquidity above here, buy side above here. So when price gets up there, there are people who would like to buy. And that's what we saw. We saw a lot of strength in the buyers. Over here, we have a daily SIBI, and we'd respected it last time we came up to it. Last two times we came up, last three times, right? We came up to it here, we respected it. Came up to it here, we respected it. Came up to it here, we respected it. This time we came up to it and we disrespected it. So we're going to turn this into a bullish inversion for value gap. Actually, I need to do it this way or it's going to disappear from the screen. Because of the time frames that my template setting is for. And we're going to change that to a bullish inversion for value gap on the daily. All right, we're on the daily chart. Okay, now we want to see whether this is going to be respected. However, we have an even higher bullish for inversion for value gap that we've, let's see here. I previously called well, let me actually teach you this. So this was a SIBI. Then we came back up, looked like it might be a bullish inversion for value gap, but then we came right back down and then started treating it again as a SIBI. So it's a SIBI daily reclaimed, RECL reclaimed. We'd reclaimed it as a bearish SIBI. And then, but until we came back over here, now it's back into a reclaimed, into a bullish, inversion, right? So let's do that. Inversion, make it visible on the daily and mark that as bullish. Okay. And then of course we also created, when we opened up today, the low over here, we've created this new BISIs. So now we have two new BISIs which are reinforcing this bullishness. And what we want to see over the next few days is it's likely that price will come back down and retest this bullish inversion, this bullish BISI. Will retest, maybe retest as low as here. I don't know. What we really would like to see this lower BISI remain open as a breakaway gap, because if this is closed, then we're not bullish anymore. Okay, so we're at that stage where now we're looking for confirmation, not reinforcement, confirmation. We're looking for confirmation that we are now in a bullish market, bullish order flow, as opposed to just a retracement, whereas we're actually continuing lower. Because you could argue, if we look at the weekly time frame, and that's why a lot of this depends on time frame. People talk about, are you bullish or bearish? Well, what time frame are you talking about? On the weekly time frame, we could still argue that this is just a retracement, right? Back up into the leg going lower. Let's see here. Right? If we put a fib up there and down to here, we're now it's possible that we're still in a just a retracement that may go up a little bit higher, maybe let's say up to seven, up to 100K, and then it's going to continue going lower and take out this low, because that would still be on a weekly basis. On a weekly basis, we can go up to almost up to 98 and a half and still be putting in a lower high. We have a high, and then that would be a lower high. All right. But if we're looking at the daily time frame, we're definitely looking bullish on the daily time frame. And what happens over the next few days will give us a sense as to whether we're going to see confirmation. Are we going to retest here? Are we just going to explode straight up? That's definitely a possibility with Bitcoin. I mean, we could have a repeat of what we had over here, right? Where there was we were just but over the differences over here, we were breaking out over previous highs. So there's nothing, there like to know like where we're going. We were in uncharted territory. Over here, we are not in uncharted territory. We're not above all-time highs. So we probably will get a confirmation before continuing into new all-time highs. Or if this is really just a bull trap, then we're going to go lower. Which one is more likely? I leave it up to you. My bias is always bullish with Bitcoin, because I'm not looking at this on a daily, weekly, or even monthly time frame. I'm looking at this over multiple years, and I'm quite sure that on a, let's see, I'm sure that in whatever number of years we'll be way higher than we are today. There's no can we do 12 months? 12 months. Interesting. I've never done this. I'm just looking at it now. Let's take that off. Um, Very interesting. We've got 8 months and 9 days left to the current candle, though. All right. Let me know what you thought.